Good evening, everybody. Good to see you back. This week, we are going to be talking about pain and your nervous system and why this is absolutely so critical for not only all of us, but particularly those with EDS. So, first of all, look at your nervous system as really being literally on fire. That when you have pain, that this is the nervous system burning out of control. And what we want to do is first put that fire out. Then we want to allow the nervous system to be able to regenerate. And then third, we actually want to grow the nervous system in a way that's really healthy for our body. So, with that, our body literally ignores over 99% of pain. And this is crucial for us because we do want all of the different input that our body offers, but we definitely don't want the body to pay attention to all this. So if we think of the uh, the body as literally like a burning forest, if you will, um, then it really with that, you know, small forest fires we don't pay attention to, but really big ones, you better darn well believe that it needs to be basically like uh, a four a four alarm fire. So we really look to this analogy in nature that of this burning forest, in that there's really the rule of three in nature. And a really good example of this is that we can go 3 weeks without food, we can go 3 days without water, um, and we can only go about 3 minutes without breath. So the rule of threes holds true throughout nature, and even more so when we come um, to our nervous system. So we really want to make sure that in order to eliminate pain, that we follow these three laws, or these laws of the the laws of three in nature. So when we talk about eliminating pain, there's really three keys to doing this. And first, we need to remove the stimulus, that is, the things that actually cause pain for us. And so, as we've discussed before, a very big part of that, in one example, particularly with EDS and mast cell activation, is getting rid of things like zonulin. So we really want to get rid of some of these chemical stimulus that allows the body to actually perceive our pain. A more physical manifestation that we need to remove is scar tissue. And so for those of you who've been into the clinic, know how absolutely vital it is for us to get rid of scar tissue. This typically takes about 3 months. Our body has built up stores of scar tissue. It is stored away zonulin and many other chemicals, and it can take a lot of time to really get rid of that. And generally, we look to about 3 months to get rid of the most significant amounts. Then we start getting into replacing. And when we replace, what we want to do is we really want to start adding good stimulus into the body. And so, what would an example of good stimulus be? Um, that means giving the nerves things that really are important to them, things that are good input. So, if you have been in a very, for instance, anxious state, uh, is doing things like breathing exercises, which then help the body to actually um, calm down and provide it with very good stimulus or very good input uh, in into the nervous system. So we're replacing this not so good input with much better input, or really repairing the type of input that we're giving to the body. Uh, Third is that we want to repair the nervous system. And this really is more getting into the the actual restructuring of our nervous system. So with this, we're really trying to essentially uh, break uh, eh, not only bad habits, but we're instilling new fantastic habits and really getting the body to embrace these new patterns. So a good example of this is if you have poor posture and that head is really sticking forward. Well, first we want to remove all the scar tissue that even prevents the head from coming back. As we remove the scar tissue, then, oh wow, my neck starts becoming more mobile. So then we can actually start providing good stimulus. So good stimulus would be, let's do our chin tucks. Let's actually start getting good input into the nervous system. Third, now we actually start repairing all these nerves that the body starts to recognize. Oh my gosh, my head is now sitting where it's supposed to be. And the nerves start to calm down and not perceive nearly so much pain. And that they recognize, wow, this new place of my head sitting back up over my shoulders is extremely healthy. And the body actually recognizes that this new norm, this new healthy, is actually really good and beneficial. So those are really the three key steps in getting the body to start to put out this nervous system fire. That is, we first want to remove, and that is remove bad things. We want to remove bad chemical things. We want to remove bad neurological things. Second step is then we want to replace, and that is we want to start to put good stimulus into the system. Finally, we want to repair, and that is allowing the body to actually start recognizing and developing these new uh, good habits. And each of these takes about 3 months. Back to our rule of threes that occurs in nature. So they can overlap, but what's really important for people to recognize is that this does take time. We are developing new habits within the body, and that for the body to be able to do these things, it really does need to be retrained. Um, if you've ever trained a puppy, for instance, you know that it takes a while for that puppy to realize that it's not okay to pee in the house, that it needs to go outside, and you need to reward that puppy, and that it then develops new habits, recognizing that, wow, okay, I need to go outside. I need to hold my pee and let my owners know that I need to go outside. And as the puppy starts to recognize that and do that, then it develops these new habits. This is all called neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity is the basically building of neurological muscle, if you will. And we really um, are trying to develop these new these neurological muscles in the body. And so if we go to um, our example of the burning tree, then we will think that first we need to put that fire out and get the nervous system calmed down. And once we do that, then this neuroplasticity, or this rebuilding of the nervous system, can occur. And Stanford has done a lot of fantastic research in this area, and they, um, I mean, it's now accepted worldwide, but Stanford definitely was very early in this charge and recognizing the importance of rebuilding the nervous system and how we best do that. So with that, um, what we will see here, hopefully, is our picture uh, from Stanford. Though we might not be getting it this week. So, anyways, neuroplasticity. It really is about redeveloping the brain, just like we would develop new muscles in the body. We basically want to get rid of bad habits or bad neurological patterns that allow our body to recognize so much pain and develop new habits. And this is much like with a tree, that as it starts to grow, what we literally are doing to our nervous system is that we are trimming it and we're pruning it and we're training it to grow in ways that we really want to, that we need it to grow in. And by doing this, what we do is we develop not only a new nervous system, but we develop a much healthier one that doesn't recognize pain so well, that really rewards us for good neurological behavior. And what this means in the case of EDS is that the pain that you feel, while there might still be stimulus from the outside, the stress of work or relationships, whatever it might be, those might be similar, but how the body interprets that and the nervous system, what it does with that information, is different. And it now puts out a much healthier response. And this is truly uh, the basis of neuroplasticity and how we can perpetuate and adapt as a species. What's really important is that the nervous system becomes very efficient, and it can become efficient at good things, and it can become efficient at bad habits. And so we really want to make sure the body becomes efficient at these really good habits. So in this rule of threes, recognizing that it's going to take 3 months to break down or remove a lot of the bad stimulus, and that we then want to start replacing for 3 months with much better stimulus, and that third rule of threes, that we're actually repairing the nervous system, that it really then takes about 3 months for the nervous system to become highly efficient at this new habit. What does that mean for people with EDS uh, in particular? It means it's going to take you anywhere from 6 to 9 months, that it really is a longer term project to go from lots of pain and lots of spasm and the body not recognizing how to appropriately support joints, uh, that it really takes this shift uh, over months for this to occur. And the reason I bring up that it is this long period of time, when it has been very often years, if not sometimes decades, for you to get a proper diagnosis, then while 6 to 9 months might seem really long at this point in time, it really, in the scheme of things, of the years that it actually took you to get to this point, 6 to 9 months really is not that long. And to remind yourself that, my gosh, I can do this today, I can do it tomorrow, I can do it next week, I can do it next month, and that my body will continue to repair itself, and that neuroplasticity will allow me to shift from these bad habits of my body recognizing all this pain and 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 basically bad habits of of allowing so much pain to be processed, and that it starts developing these good habits and begins to change this input and allow the body to respond more appropriately so that you can support these joints, and then that becomes more efficient at supporting the joints, and then there's less bad input from the joints that something might be dislocating. And these feedback loops actually become what we call positive feedback loops, that we actually start developing efficient ways of giving our body good input. And the more good input we can give to the body neurologically, the less pain that we actually feel. So, with this, it really, while it can seem like a long project, um, it is, for most people, I would say, a very doable project. And as we've talked about in other webcasts, there are a number of things that can be done to help cut down pain in the short term, that they rarely are fixes, but they can definitely help cut the pain down in the short term, so it can actually make the process of this 6 to 9 month healing period even easier, if you will. That it's not as painful, and that um, yeah, that just makes the process not only mentally easier for you, it can actually sometimes speed up the process for us. So I really appreciate you all joining this week. If you have any questions, please do email me at dranderson@musclejointclinic.com, and I will see you again on this same YouTube channel. Have a great week.